The focus of this Trustive Communication segment is on how to give feedback constructively. As with trust, feedback is reciprocal. You need to be willing to give it to get it. Feedback can be used in all aspects of your life, at work and at home. At work, people often assume that feedback comes from the boss down, but feedback is all ways, up, down, and across. Feedback can come from anyone you work with and interact with. Sometimes the most valuable feedback that provides the most meaningful insights comes from your coworkers. There are generally two types of feedback at work: feedback related to the quality of work, and feedback related to how you experience your relationship and behavior with another person. Feedback that builds trust is rooted in sound intention to help a person become more aware of themselves and to support them to grow and develop in their work and as people. There may be occasions when someone asks you to give feedback, and there may be situations where you may choose to initiate giving feedback. Whether you've been asked to provide feedback or are initiating giving feedback, there are 4 steps you can take to give feedback constructively and with positive intent. The first step is to prepare yourself to have the conversation. This is where you do your inner work. Take the time to tune in to yourself. Set your intentions so you are clear on the purpose of your feedback conversation and how you want to bring yourself to your colleague. Remember, trust begins with you. Consider if you are in the right mindset to have a meaningful trust conversation. If you're frustrated or highly emotional, wait until you are grounded and centered. Use your giving feedback practice notes sheet to prepare. Reflect again on your intentions to ensure they are aligned with helping this person learn and grow and to strengthen your working relationship. If you dump on this person or unload a bunch of heated emotions, you run the risk of breaking trust, damaging the relationship, and you rob yourself and the other person from the opportunity to learn and grow. Ask yourself what you want to better understand about the situation or your colleague. Identify what you're curious about. Consider conclusions you may be jumping to or assumptions you may be forming. This will help you to know what you want to check out and better understand. The second step is when you actually ask your colleague permission to give feedback. Let them know you'd like to have a trust conversation. Ask them when the time might be conducive for the two of you to sit down and talk. Identify a location where you both will be comfortable. Share with your colleague your intention is to strengthen your working relationship. Let them know you'd like to share and talk about an experience you had or an observation that you've made that pertains to them and your relationship. Once you've done your inner work, which is step 1, and have asked permission to give feedback, step 2, you are now ready to share your observations or experience. This takes you to step 3 in giving constructive feedback. Step 3 is when you share your feedback. First, you want to provide context for your experience or observation. As an example, you may refresh your colleague's memory of the meeting you both attended where the behavior took place. You may say something like, during our huddle yesterday, or during the project review meeting on Thursday, or you may reference an expectation that was set and confirmed, yet perhaps has not yet been met. When you provide context, you're essentially setting the scene of your experience. Similar to how you might describe the scene in a movie or a play or a story. This prepares you to then describe the behavior you observed or experienced. When you do so, be sure to use I language. You may say something like, during the huddle meeting yesterday, I noticed, or during our team meeting, I had understood. If you say something like, well, you said, or you never come through, or why are you so unreliable, or make an accusation like, what is your problem? You are not providing constructive feedback, and you're compromising trust rather than building it. As you describe the behavior, share how you felt. You might have felt frustrated, caught off guard, confused, or let down. Share what is true for you and explain the impact on you and others. Perhaps a deadline was missed or alignment was not formed. Pause for reflection to give the other person a chance to take in what they have just heard and to give you a moment to reflect on what you've just shared. Trust is built when you extend that compassion and make room for the other person to reflect and to respond. You then are prepared for step 4, where you invite the other person into the trust conversation. You want to ask for their perspective and gain an understanding of what might have been going on for them. And then you partner together to explore ways that you might address these concerns. Gain agreement on next steps that you both can take, and explore how you can support one another, or perhaps what you might need for support from others. When you've invited your colleague into a trust conversation and they have accepted your invitation, you both expressed willingness to work on the relationship together. Remember, and always remember, to thank your colleague for their willingness to listen, for their willingness to engage, and for their willingness to work on the situation and to strengthen your relationship. Trust always begins with you, and when you extend it, it will return to you, and your relationships will grow, and your effectiveness will continue to improve.